Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us again for another episode of Put You On. This week we have the All Father, Mr. Darius Carter. Thank you for joining us today.
Of course, and all of my beauty and splendor. It's a pleasure to be here, and even more so, it's a pleasure for you to have me. So, thank you.
Definitely, definitely, the pleasure's all mine. So just to start this off, what got you into wrestling?
Yeah, I was. It's funny because I've recanted this story to anyone that pays attention. And I don't ever. What's great about this is I don't ever write it, so I don't ever tweet it. I don't ever answer this question. I guess in a writing form, it's always kind of spoken in a podcast. So if you've uh, listened to a podcast of mine, then you'll know. If you haven't, then you won't. And I like to have that like interesting dichotomy. I like to see who really listens and who doesn't. But really, it started with my great grandmother and watching with her. I remember sitting on the floor, Indian style, while she was in the rocket chair, and she would always have wrestling on, and I was always glued to it whenever wrestling came on, and I was always, that was a very like curious child in terms of like things that I was interested in. Like I loved dinosaurs, I loved archaeology and paleontology. So like I was enamored with that. So my mind was very active. When I was young, I was reading at a very early age and stuff like that. So like when wrestling would come on, it just was the one thing that really hooked me every time. And it was everything. It was the showmanship, the athleticism. It wasn't just one thing. I mean, I had my favorite, which of course was the Nature Boy Ric Flair, but who was a primary source of inspiration. But that it was all of wrestling. I just loved everything. I'd watch every match, every person. I would learn about every wrestler, even the guys that were getting beat up there just to get beat up. I would know their name, or I was just interested. You could tell who was the star, who was meant to be, and who wasn't, and like that stuff all just registered to me. So wrestling has always been. I mean, as long as I remember watching television, wrestling was something that I was enamored with and glued to.
Yeah, definitely. I had the pleasure of seeing my first time seeing one of your matches in person this past summer at Jobber Slam. I had my wife with me, and this is the first time she's ever been to a wrestling event, and she just loved like the way you came into the ring, the way you presented yourself and carried yourself the entire time, even though, you know, you was going against Savannah at the time.
Right.
And she's like, you can't be hitting no girl.
Well, Savannah's not no girl. Savannah's no girl. Yeah, and I'm sure the more you think about it, your wife thinks about it, you understand. I mean, this is a woman, and B, the way I look at it is point blank period, and let it sound how it sounds. But if you're able to stand in the ring against me and the bell rings, then you're getting it.
Right.
I don't. It doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman. Doesn't matter. None of that. It's all irrelevant. A child. You're a child, and the bell rings, and somebody allowed you to be in that ring. Someone said it was okay, and the referee was there, and the referee looked at the bellkeeper and looked at him or her and said, "Ring the bell." And I'm across from you in the ring. I didn't book this. I didn't put you there. Someone did. And my mission is to win. I have to win. I have to succeed. And what am I supposed to do? Lay on my back and let you have it? That's not how that works. So if you end up in the ring, you're in the ring.
I completely understand that. And sitting in that same lane, currently you're kind of like in a three-way feud between Mr. Darius Lockhart and Trisha Dora. a few back and forth on Twitter I've seen about who's the real champion and who deserves a rematch.
Yeah, the PAWC. Yeah, I see what's going on in the Pan African World Diaspora Championship. Now, here's the thing about that, and you had to have either been there live or you had to have purchased the event entirely in its entirety. We Are Wrestling, right. We Are Wrestling, which is an upstart promotion that already is off to the races, and it's great to be a part of that. I love to be a part of a company that's starting and to be one of the people, the figureheads right there. Like it's great to be in that position and to have worked for that position. And I was on the other side watching people be there, and now to be there myself it's very humbling. You see yourself progress in those years. And look, the World Diaspora Championship is a legitimate world championship as ranked by the PWI, the oldest institution in terms of a wrestling magazine, and honestly the most notable. So
Facts.
So it's, in order to be ranking there and to be jumping over 100 spots, and then here's Trish Adora, and then at We Are Wrestling, want to be starting something is the name of the event, and we were the main event, and the match originally wasn't going to be for the World Diaspora Championship, the Pan African World Diaspora Championship, and then why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be, right? Because if we have that match, everybody thinks or assumes that she's going to win. Everyone knows that she's going to win. That's the thing. And with me, there's no certainty. There's never certainty that you're going to make it out of there alive, let alone with a championship when you're in there with me. So why not put that title on the line? Why not? Let's get the publicity. PWI just announced it as a world championship, a legitimate world championship, days beforehand. Right. So the timing was just excellent, because that was on a Friday the 13th, and it was like, all right, well, let's do this. Let's get this going.
Strange things happen.
Let's go and let me beat this woman and let me win this title and let me shake up the scene. And I mean real change to the scene, true, genuine, authentic change, not the window dressing that you see. It appears to be different, but it's really not. That surface change. No, I'm talking about the real thing to the roots. Me winning the Pan African World Diaspora Championship shakes the game up. And it's a championship that did catch my eye and has caught my eye over the past several months, So I got close to it and I said, well, I'm going to take this chance to reach out and grab it. And I pinned that woman. I pinned her shoulders to the mat. I'm one of no one has pinned her in a Pan-African World Diaspora Championship match. You might have beaten her in a non-title match. No one has beaten her with that title on the line. I have legitimately pinned her. It's recorded. It's documented. 1, 2, 3. I was announced as the winner by Shane Fair. It happened. Now, granted, that moment was taken from me, due to shoddy officiating, but it was taken from me, but I had it. Okay, and that was my win there. That was my win, was that I had the moment where I was able to pin Trish Adora and to hold the Pan-African World Diaspora Championship over my head and have my arm raised. It happened. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of trying to skip the line. I feel like a lot of people are just like, all right, well, let me get a championship opportunity, That's not how that works. You just don't get a title. I don't know if we're considering this championship to be, let's say, the black championship, right? Of true, pure black athletic competition. That is what that championship embodies to many. But my whole thing is there still should be a hierarchy. There still should be a contendership. And Darius Carter is a tremendous talent. Absolutely tremendous talent. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that he's not. I'm not going to sit here and just rag on him because his name is Darius too. I'm not going to sit here and belittle the man because his talents are legitimate. However, I pinned her. I beat her. And that's something he had not done. He had a match with her and he lost. He did not get a pin in that match. For me, I did something that nobody else has done. And it is time that we do see real difference. We've kind of seen, Darius Carter gets that match. Okay. I had to scratch, claw, fight, everything for that match. And then I succeeded, got taken away from me. How long do I have to wait now for another opportunity? Should I have gotten one immediately? Why should I have waited? Should another promotion have said, you know what? We saw what happened there. Let's run this back. Let's do this match ourselves. Let's take Darius Carter and Trish Adora and let's put them in a main event or in a match, whatever. I'll open your show, baby. Let's go. Mr. Darius Carter versus
does it all.
Trish Adora. Yes, for the World Diaspora Championship. Front and center. Someone could have taken that opportunity. So
I mean, there's still time. There's still time.
Oh, there's still plenty. There's plenty. Time is always there. Time goes on with and without us. But all I'm saying is, I could have been champion by now. If I had my rematch, if I was given that opportunity, I would have seized it, just as I did at We Are Wrestling. I really won that match. I pinned her 1, 2, 3. Had the championship over my head. Match gets
video
started. Come on, come on.
You got a good argument right there. I think that that's something that should happen before the year is over or to start off the next year. You definitely are in line for a rematch, and I understand you're saying about jumping lines. So maybe would you be consider going against Mr. Lockhart for the number one contendership?
No, because I'm the number one contender. No. Now here's what I can do. And I'm answering this honestly. I'm answering this in earnest, okay, as I always do. The first thing that Trish should be doing, if she's going to be walking around with that championship, the first thing she should be doing is defending that against me. The first thing she should be doing is telling people. She should be going to every promoter, to every person that she knows, trying to make this match happen. That onus is on her. That onus is on her because she should have guilt about the way that match transpired. People who watch that match should feel guilty about how that match went down, how she ended up leaving with the championship, a war criminal. A war criminal. Sure, we all know how great even, Trish Adora is. I was in there grappling with her. Okay, I know that the woman is skilled.
Very.
She has ability, and there's, again, no taking that away. But when you're comparing it to mine, to my vast, limitless, I am not bound by limitations. I am something completely different. And Trish will tell you herself. That Mr. Darius Carter was unlike anybody that she has ever faced in that ring. So when we say to me, why do a number one contendership and should I face this person and that person to get back? I never lost anything. I really should be champion, but I'm not going to sit here and say, hand me the title. I'll beat Trish because maybe to certain people I do have something to prove. And that's okay. I'll prove things day in, day out. That's my life. Every day I have to prove something. So I'll go ahead and beat Trish again. And then when I'm champion, Darius Lockhart can have himself a match. A non-title match.
A non-title match.
Absolutely. Why are we putting the title on the line all the time? You got to earn it. Earn your keep. Earn your keep.
That's a good point.
Maybe we give him a non-title match, and if Darius does well there, maybe we talk about contention. That's what these championships need. Not just to be defended everywhere against anybody. They need a champion that's going to restore order, that's going to bring class and integrity to the championship. When Nick Bockwinkel was AWA champion, not everybody that was lacing up their boots was getting a chance to step in the ring with him. That's not how that worked. That is not how that worked.
Definitely
you were lucky to get Bockwinkel in the ring, let alone get him in there defending his championship all the time. That's not how that works. That's how we get the PAWD. This is how we get the World Diaspora Championship to the next level because it's doing great right now. Listen, it just became a world championship. We know how great it is. We know how wonderful Trish's reign has been, but at some point it ends. At some point it ends. We know this. We know this. At some point, it flatlines, it dies, it's over. And let's be honest, who is a better candidate to assume that position and elevate it than me? There is no one that is when we talk front to back, when we talk top to bottom, seriously, listen, there are some great options out there. There are people that maybe are deserving of a championship match here or there. Maybe someone like a Darius Lockhart. Maybe someone like a Montana Black. Maybe someone like a Yaya. Maybe someone like Jesse Bonesaw Brooks. Maybe those people, Holiday, maybe they deserve down the line a championship opportunity. But when we talk about somebody that's able to take that bar right now, and bring it to the next level and force you to be dragged up with it, kicking and screaming, I'll take you to the top. But I am the right person for the job, and everyone, they're scared for me to be that person. I am the most dangerous man on earth. They are scared of Darius Carter. They are scared for me to hold that type of power in the business because they know that I will take that power and I will use it to bring real change to this business. I will bring change to the independents. I will make people earn championship matches again. You might have to go through a tournament to get to me, just to get a number one contendership match. I'm going to make people work for it. I'm going to make you, just like I had to work just to be seen. That's what I'm going to make people do. And I'm going to defend my championship against high profile. How about that? You bring in somebody from halfway across the world to face me. You bring somebody from Japan. Bring someone from the UK. Bring someone from Canada. Bring them to me. And I'll show them how things get done.
Okay. Darius Carter right there, the champions of champions. He's ready to take that title to the next level. That's good. So, speaking of the rivalries, what is this rivalry that you have with Vinny?
Pacifico? Vinny is incessant. Okay? Vinny is it's like full speed ahead. He's constantly there. He's constantly moving. He's constantly. Again, I'm a person of order. I'm somebody that I thrive on structure, okay? I thrive on foundation and integrity. You know, Vinny's the type of guy that'll run across ice, and he'll have the heart and believe he can make it, and he'll scratch and claw. Vinny is a scratch and claw, and I give him his credit. He really is a fighter. But this man, this boy, this whatever that he. It's never ending. It's incessant. And I'm coming across him a lot in Warriors of Wrestling. He was the 2020 King of New York. He won during the pandemic. So I had to face him and defeat him to qualify for the 2021 King of New York tournament. Why I had to qualify, I mean, who knows? I think it was really done more for advertising than anything else, because we know that. Right. I mean, that's that, you know, it's an insult, but it also, to me, it was like, well, I know that this thing is mine. So you put me through. If I can beat the former king, if I can beat last year's king in a qualifier to get into the 2021, I've already won this thing. I knew it.
It's all yours.
By beating Vinny, I knew I was going to win the tournament. And that's exactly what happened. I beat the 2020 King of New York. I qualified for the 2021 edition, the 6th annual, and then I won. King
of New York.
King of New York, beating Terrence Hughes, beating Jade, beating Dexter in a 4-way match, then going on to beating Biggie Biggs in what ended up being his retirement match.
Uh-oh.
And that more will come on that. Biggie Biggs gets defeated. And then E-Rock, one of the brightest young students at Warriors of Wrestling, and they have some incredible students there. E-Rock, up and coming, strong amateur background. The kid can go, but he couldn't go far enough. The All-Father wins. Titan King reigns supreme. And here we are. King of New York, a title I have deserved. And I don't just take that as like, okay, some type of gimmick. I remember trying to get into the New York scene back in 2012, 2013, because I started wrestling in 2009. And at that point, we were going out to really, podunk places in PA, Tamaqua, Lansford, just trying to just getting to wrestle in front of a crowd and just trying to show my stuff, show what I could do, at the time. Other than wrestling in New Jersey, where BWO was housed, which is where I started training. So
nice.
I had to fight to get into New York. I wasn't one of the boys. I wasn't going out and I didn't get that. I wasn't in that point where I was going out with them and drinking and having a good time. If you weren't a New York guy, you weren't fitting in. You weren't getting in. So I had to do what I had to do and grind. And once I got into New York, the doors kicked down. And now I'm considered a premier talent of the Northeast. You can't talk about top talent in the New York region or in that tri-state area, in that Northeast area, without bringing up Mr. Darius Carter. And that's and that's something I've earned over 10 years nonstop. I never took an off period. I never stopped. I never lost my smile or lost my heart. I was wrestling every month at the minimum for coming on 12 years now. Always having to improve my craft the hard way and not getting to ride any coattails and not getting people that were going to bring me to the top, that were going to talk me to the top, that were going to give me an elevator up. And amen, to the people that got that ride and the people that get that way paved for them. But that was not me. And honestly, it's made me much better. It's made me much smarter. And once I get to that precipice, see, that's what's scary to people, man. It's like I get there and people know that the game changes. People know. I'm not just a guy in the background. I'm not just a player on the team. I'm somebody there to make waves and to do damage and to take over and to bring change and to make you remember everything that I've done. I'm going to go out there and do something that you're going to forget? No, that's not me. Every time I'm out there, I want you to have memories of Darius Carter. I want you to have a Rolodex of Darius Carter memories in your head. That's what I want. And that's my mission. That's my job to provide that to you as it is yours to take it in. I thrive on high pressure situations. And I think people are starting to realize that. I think a lot of people are like, oh, this guy, this guy's good. Oh, this guy, and it's just that right spotlight to shine from above, and however it comes, whichever form it may present itself, all that one spotlight, wherever it is, and I'm telling you, and people are going to see what some people have seen for a long time, what others refuse to see, but it's there. Oh, it's there. Just it's marinating. It's marinating.
And I understand that because when I see you on Twitter, you're one of the few people that is not afraid to cross those lines and call out certain wrestlers from whatever promotion and whatever is happening in their matches. And that's one of your things, that you're very active on your Twitter, and I love that because you let yourself be known and know that you're not afraid to take that spotlight when it's given to you. And that's what draws me to your social media. You know what I mean? And draw me to your matches because you bring all that into the ring and you just see the passion when you're in between those ropes. Who is somebody that you would love to get in the ropes that you haven't got a chance to?
You know what? It's funny because there's a list. There are many people, and I'm not going to be the guy that says, oh, well, I want to wrestle everybody, because I do, sure. And that comes with the position, That's why I like being a champion or being at the top, because then I'm attracting the best. I like the best to present themselves to me. Just as a champion, I'm a beacon. As a champion, you're a beacon. You're a calling card. You're a light that is shining and saying, "Come to me." You're the lighthouse, and I love that position. I fell in love with that, with Ric Flair being the top guy. I grew up. Flair was a little before my time, but I was always watching the older school things, or I was always watching the older wrestling. Like I'd watch current stuff, but I would go back into the wrestling from before. either because of my great grandmother who was big on that, and just research and just. I think just again as a kid, I was just very into history. I was very into when we talk about paleontology and archaeology, and just like I was just interested in how the world worked and how it came to be, and wrestling just captured me like that. And honestly, like I think that when it comes to professional wrestling, okay, when it comes to what this is, you have to have an understanding and a love for it, because you can't expect things, right? You can't have expectations. You can't put it on the business to return something to you. Okay, and you've heard it said in many different forms, but for me, I thrive on continuously proving myself. I thrive on continuously stepping up and elevating the game and raising my own bar. I look at my own stuff and say, well, how can I do this? How can I do that? And the old school helped get me there. That foundation has made me who I am. I'll never look in a mirror and not understand its reflection. Let me put it to you like that. So,
that's the way nice
right. So the business has given to me. It's given to me in ways that my passion for business and marketing that fills another need, right? But wrestling it touches to the soul, to the spirit, and that's listen. The next step is the next step.
Hey, that's open door. That's what he said. He'll take on anybody.
That's and that's what I mean. Is you can't be afraid. So when we talk about, I guess, people I'd like to wrestle, I guess to get back to the question, I could throw some names out there. Zack Sabre Jr. Would be someone who I was originally, well, not originally, because what does that mean, right? But I was set to face him previously at a promotion, and it didn't happen for whatever reason. I feel like if I was able to get in there with someone like someone with that blood sport style, right. I really want to get in there and showcase more of that. So like him, to a Josh Barnett, to anyone in that environment. It's not. I don't think it's just so much people or wrestlers that I want to get in there, so much as it is styles. And for me, I really wanted to get into more of those, those shoot wrestling styles, because I have studied and practiced amateur wrestling and catch-as-catch-can wrestling for some time. I'm a master studier. Like that's my thing. Like I'm watching it and I'm pausing and I'm rewinding and I'm pausing and I'm rewinding. It could take me an hour to get through a 20-minute match, if I'm paying enough attention, or not even paying enough attention, if I'm really going through every little nook and cranny.
Dissecting.
Yes, absolute dissection. Of every little piece, boom, boom, rewind, quick. What was that? And it's something that some people don't even think about, but how you grabbed, how you hooked, how you threw, how you released. Those types of things. What are you doing with your hands? What's going on with your legs? I always want every motion to matter, and that is like chasing the perfect painting. That's it. You can never really be 100% perfect, but that's the fun of it. If I can be 99%, if I can be 98%, I'm on the right track, and that's my mentality. Is I want every motion to matter. When I have people say to me, Darius Carter, you're like wrestling, wrestling, you were watching you, like every little thing matters. You move with so much precision. You move with like you're concise, you're smooth, you're direct. Those are the types of things I take those to heart, because there's a lot of sometimes dead motion in matches. There's a lot, and there's the big boom, the fireworks, and then it's dead motion, or there's just kind of like, some forearms that, because that's getting you to the next thing. All right, he's going to forearm to the corner and whip him off. He's going to throw him out and start clapping. For me, it's like every single motion, every single movement, I want it earned. If I want you in a corner, I might give you a European, a nice snug one that'll back you into a corner. I'll turn your back
Right.
towards the corner, give you a snug Euro, and you're going to retreat to a corner because the other option is hitting the mat. And you probably don't want to do that because I'm going to jump on you and pin you. So that's how I'll get you to the corner, and then I'll whip you off. I mean, little things like that, but I think people –
psychology.
Yes, and I think people see that. I think people see that, or they want to see that, and it just has to be presented to them. And that's what I embody. That's where I fit in to this whole wrestling schematic. I am that person that is very detailed and just want to, and not contrived, but detailed. There's a difference.
Right.
And I want to get you to where I want to get you, and I'll get you there. If I want you to crawl towards a rope, I know how to get you there. I will hit you in the right spot to get you there. If I need you to the ropes, I'll get you there. I don't have to pick you up and walk you over. And it's little things like that I think people are picking up on if they haven't before. A lot of people are being introduced to it because they didn't know of me or know about me or know the right things about me. That's another thing. I feel like people are rediscovering Darius Carter. And that's where when you say, "Who, Darius, who do you want to face?" I mean, I want to face everybody that with that different style that can elevate mine, And right now, my eye, and it has been for a while, but that style that really calls to me is that blood sport style. I was able to do the frog sport at Camp Leapfrog, which is on IWTV, and he ran against the pay-per-view. He ran against Backlash, but it still did well, but that to me is an event that more people should have their eyes on because that was me against Janai Kai. That was me against Saber Dorado. That was me against Matt Mikowski in a match that somehow hasn't happened again since that match. That's what I mean. It's like it's interesting to me. Myself and Trish, although that happened recently, a little more recently, but that's a match that should be happening more. And Mikowski, that Matt Mikowski match, we went almost 20 minutes in a shoot style match. Like, hey, Matt, we all know how dangerous Matt is. We all know how skilled and the so many the directions that he's pulling from, the sources of the fighting styles. We all know about Matt's ability. We do. We get it. We do. Right. But me, I think people sometimes still, they know I'm dangerous and they know I'm good, but people don't fully know how I can get down on that mat. They still don't know. They still don't know things that I can do. They still don't know ways I can tie you up and lock you up. I won't need to hit you. If I don't let go of you, if I grab you, that I might not. You might not get released. You might not get reprieve. That might be it for you. And that's the type of, not fear, but that's the type of knowledge I want to instill in people. If I get a hold of you, that match can end. And the way to get that over, the way to get that into people's eyes is to compete against those types of competitors, to be in those style of matches, to be in the blood sport, to be in a match where, hey, there's going to be a double leg takedown. Are you ready? Are you used to that?
Right.
Because some guys, you take them down with double leg, they do not know. That's it. They're confused. They're going to the next spot. They're getting up and they're throwing a kick at you or something, or they're going to hit the ropes and try to. That's not. If I don't give that to you, you're not going to get it.
I don't know if you realize, but Mr. Lockhart is in the chat. He said he agreed.
I see my peripherals working. But yeah, and that came up around the time I was talking about Mikowski's skills and his resources because, with MMA and just the way that he has blended the styles, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you could see influences that he's taken on. And those are the types of competitors that I want to be in there with. Darius Lockhart's another one. I mean, we had a match before, and it was a very good one in my opinion. But we can do one where we're grappling, and I can do the one with Trish Adora, which again is on Title Match Network. We are wrestling, want to be starting something. Main event, myself and Trish. I mean, we went out there and had at it in the ring. We wrestled, we scrapped, we didn't let each other go for a bit, and we were doing some things. And I really want people to realize that when you're wrestling me, it is going to be a test. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be, easy, because I don't want it easy. I don't want it easy. I don't. I want to go in there and I want to try and twist you, and I want to see how you try and resist. I want to see what you try to come up with. What type of counter will you conjure up? Can you counter? Can you think on your feet like that? That's where I'm at. So, the next one is the next one. It could be their last one. and that's just saying how it is.
Oh man, yeah, I definitely want to see you in a blood sport. Now, the way you break it down, like I said, you so detailed in the way you're thinking in your process. Like hearing those type of different styles clashing. I would love to see that, and I would love to see you in that same blood sport situation, just to see like you said, the grappling. Like nobody does it like that much often, and it doesn't get as much spotlight as it should. So for anybody that's watching right now, pay attention. He's talking some real facts right now.
I listen. I'm not going to sit here and say every wrestler should be a grappler, but you should be able to. If you get grabbed, if you get snatched,
right?
To me, you have to be able to do something to get out of it. That's just how I feel. If you go to grab me and I don't know how to get out, shame on me. So that's something, that style I always appreciated. I always gravitated towards that style. I guess I'm kind of giving you a free question. Hey, Mr. Darius Carter, how did you come up with your style? How did you? Well, I mean, that style just made the most sense to me.
Thank you.
Catch can, amateur grappling always made the most sense, because when you grab a guy, you don't let him go. If I got to twist your arm, which frees up your leg, and then I can float over there because maybe your arms, you're giving me a little bit of resistance when your arms that I'm not going to get from your legs. And maybe I got to work my way around back to your other side. And maybe I got to lock there's a headlock from the other side. Here's a cross face. Maybe I have to, to me, the scientific grappling aspect of the game is what I fall in love with it. I'll rewind that more than listen, again, dives and flips they all have their place. But, I see a dive and I'm like, great, for the most part, unless you have a truly breathtaking one, like some of the things that, you may see some people do. All right, great. But for me, from what I like to be on the edge of my seat and I'm watching and I'm like, oh, look at how I grabbed that finger there. All I had to do was
small details.
Yeah, look at that. Look how he turned that. And that's I'm very captured and enthralled by that style. And all you can do is try to not emulate, but perfect and to just mold it in your own way. And you can go back so far with wrestling. That's the thing, is we were talking about the future, but when you look back, so many things have happened already that people don't know about now. You could take something from the 50s and 60s and somebody may have never seen it before.
Yeah.
And I look to a lot of that. I look to the Billy Robinson. I look to the Bockwinkel. I look to Carl Gotch. Those are the things. And you watch that clip and you're like, you watch their match and you're like, that's something I haven't seen people today doing that. And I'll watch wrestling from Japan, from the UK, Germany, and I'm like, but that's different. You got to make things your own. You see something, you don't directly emulate it. You find a way to, that's like my rule with myself, is I never will directly take something. I can see something and I'll modify it my own way, but I'm not, I can't just, for me to just see something and just take, I'm like, I never liked that, because it's like if someone did that to you, I'm like, that always kind of rubbed me a little wrong. But I'm like, but let me do it in a different way. Even if it's a slightly different way that drives the point home,
right.
That's like, it does, you're add your flavor, add your zest to something, that's the best way, And in my humble opinion, I love to watch and to observe and to study. Like I just love studying. I think that's why college was so great for me. I think that's why the school system was so great. I just went right through,
Right.
and and honor roll and all those things, and just studying always made sense to me. Reading, rereading, just putting yourself into your work, putting yourself into that world. It's the never ending life, man. It's just that you can get so much out of this life. You can get as much as you want. You can have it. And I'm one of those people that I mean, it's insatiable. I just want more. I just want more. I do. I want more knowledge. I want more information. I want more intel. I want more experience. And this is the way to get it, by continuously watching, by studying, by rewinding, by pausing, by favoriting, by coming back to it. Whew. Oh, just thinking about it. It's
now I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see how you're gonna break down this match that you have with Vinny. And feel free to tell me rewind whatever you need me to rewind. This is your floor, and I just want to see how you paint your pictures. Like, this is the point of it. So we're gonna get ready and jump into that. Give me 1 second. So let's switch up the screens. So why did you pick this match?
I picked this match because, well, what's funny about this, there's a story to this. So myself and Vinny were actually supposed to wrestle at the anniversary show in 2020, in December of 2020, but he ended up getting sick, right? And he wasn't able to attend that. So we ended up doing something else. It was me and Abraham Khan instead. But that match was building. Myself and Pacifico was building. We did like a contract signing, which is also on YouTube. I mean, we really went all out for this, and we wanted to make this as big as we could, and then he was unable to make it. So this match was 8 months in the making. This match, it was, and I mean 8 months from December. This match was meant to happen, and I just wanted to get more eyes on this match. I feel like when you have matches that are released through Title Match Network, you're gonna get and listen, it's a blessing, right? And it's nothing you don't take for granted, but it's like those are getting thousands upon thousands of views, tens of thousands of views. Myself against like a Holiday or myself against like a Harlow O'Hara. Those are gonna do big, right. But I don't want these matches, like a match like this, to go under the radar. I mean, we're talking just over 11 minutes, and even then, that's not even the whole match, because obviously there's an introduction and a post. So we're talking like 10 minutes, and it's like, it's I don't want to say quick, because 10 minutes isn't quick, but you can get in, see it. But like, I want to put more eyes on it, because there were some things that we did in this match that I was proud of. There were some callbacks there that people may or may not know about, but if they watch the product, they would. Okay. And Vinny just has a lot of heart. Vinny's never going to go out there and not want to give it his 110% best. That's the one thing I will give him above all else. Like I said, he'll run across the ice. Not so much because I think he's a fool, but because he's just going to do it anyway. He's just like, well, let's try it. He's got spirit. He's got spunk, and he's never going to go out in a match and phone it in. So
definitely, let's go ahead and start this match. And like I said, don't feel free to rewind it where we need to rewind it. Give us some audio, not too much. I like how you keep it traditional black. Oh, he didn't give you a chance to start out.
Vinny Pacifico.
Right, and here I'm trying not to think of William Regal versus Christian, SummerSlam 2009, when Regal took off the robe, he was taking off the coat, and then Christian came to hit the unprettier. and beat him in 8 seconds. And I'm glad that I made sure to not turn my full back to him, but clearly I wasn't. Clearly, I
supposed to be a title match where Darius Carter was
don't want to say I didn't take it off quick enough. I think Vinny came out with some fire and some heart, and here you can see, right, like, so he's hitting me with some euros, and they're fine enough, but he kind of lost that flame that he hit me with in the beginning, and that's why I was able to cut him off there. That drop kick was like a bat out of hell, and it honestly impressed me. It impressed me, but he wasn't able to keep it up. And that's the thing. If you're in there with me, you have to keep it up. You have to keep the flame lit. Yep, there he is, trying to get up. Yeah, and see, nowhere to go. Where's he going?
For Darius Carter,
cut off.
A kick to the knee. And I just want people to check this, right? A kick to the knee, which makes him bend forward. That exposes his head. I kick his head. I'm not a guy that wants to go in there and stomp you, kick you 100 times. Listen, it worked for Stone Cold, but it doesn't work for everybody. You know?
Right.
For me, I like to give you one and see how you open up. And Vinny opened right up there. There's a classic. I always want to do that. You know, there's things you always kind of want to do in the ring as a wrestler, but the match has to work out for it. Oh, there's the Euro. Listen to those.
Ooh.
Another European uppercut on Pacifico.
Oh.
Hip drop there. Right onto the
those Euros, same place every time.
Nice strong pin.
What a tremendous streak to open up this second half with the lights. I mean,
he springs up, he kicks out, and brings himself to his knees. Which to a lot of people, they would have let that pass. They would have given him. I grabbed him right there, jumped right on him. Now I know I have to extinguish the flame here, because if he shows me what he showed me with that drop kick in the beginning, then I know that I'm going to have a situation on my hands. My whole point has been to deactivate that flame, and I've been doing it here. There you go. Oh,
here's the pin attempt. 2, not enough.
Nice strong pin.
That suplex, baby.
You don't waste movements. That's one thing I realized about your matches.
Thank you. Yeah, he's not getting any time to breathe here
at all.
There it is, the Winston. There it is, the Winston knot. Yeah, I wanted his. He actually was. What's funny is I almost don't want to give him the credit, but he tucked his head in, which stopped me from being able to get him the way I wanted to. So at that point, I just pulled his head out. And I'm like, you know, that was pretty clever on his part. But Vinny was not getting any air. I mean, even when I got my taunt in, even when I got my arms up, he was suffering.
Right.
It's not like I was giving him time to recover. He was suffering because I had hit him with 3, 4 things, and then I taunted. He could hardly see me. He was so blurred up. Look at that.
That's a dirty move.
Oh, I got it right there. Fully legal. Fully legal here. And look at that, in control there.
This crowd is electric tonight, folks.
Here it comes.
Ooh, what is this?
Ooh, Monarch suplex.
The pin line. 2. That's not enough.
Monarch being a double play on, of course, a king, and the butterfly being a butterfly suplex. So that's the Monarch suplex. But the point here is that Vinny is not getting air. There's ways to really grind your opponent down, and I'm siphoning at his health every step of this match. He is not getting a chance to pinball. He's not getting a chance to get momentum. Vinny with momentum is a very dangerous person. I'm not going to understate that.
Making some progress. He's on both knees.
You see that in the beginning, and ever since then, he hasn't gotten much consistent offense.
I'm cutting him off. I've been cutting him off.
Breaking the hold. What is this? Sending him over. The free fall drop there. And Pacifico fired up.
And he gets the back body drop.
Carter's done a nice job.
Because honestly, the role surprised me a little bit.
But there's an uppercut there by
It
Vinny.
did, and here he comes with the momentum that we were talking about.
Carter missing the big boot, hung up there on top of the turnbuckle. Pacifico with a German suplex on Carter.
I can't even say I shouldn't have done that because that would have worked on a lot of people. That running boot.
There's that finisher, that diving cutter there.
Frustrating. You see how he ran off the ropes and I went to grab him. If I reached out a little bit sooner, I would have had him. The German, your equilibrium, it gets a little, and it's my own weight, so he's just throwing my own weight on top of my neck.
It's not so easy.
There it is. He went for that drop kick again.
Oh. That's that process you talking about earlier.
Step over toe hold face lock for people who don't know, okay? Masahiro Chono inspired. I was a big Masahiro Chono fan. I loved NWO Japan. Didn't really care too much for the NWO for a bit, but the NWO Japan, I like that. There it is.
I like the way you like the arm. You didn't let it be free.
I chicken wing the arm, but he still somehow he gets the ropes. Of course I'm gonna utilize the full extent of the 5 count there. Surprised he didn't tap out. That's a testament to how much he wanted to win. Keep in mind, this is the King of New York that's on the line. And I believe that had a lot to do with it because I know Vinny wanted to win a second year in a row. Vinny never got that world championship match. So there's the royal sweep. I'm going for the royal sweep. No, give me the roll. Give me that roll. And the ode to Nate.
Nope. Hit that rope again.
Leg takedown. Oh man.
It's him running.
Not a strong pin. That's not a strong pin.
No. Into the crossface. So I kick out of the maneuver into him, hoping that I could push him away. And he actually caught it. So that was interesting. You know, there's a way to kick out of things. Sometimes you want to kick out away from the opponent so you can scurry. Sometimes you want to kick out into them and push them back. And here I am, and you see how I got over there. Look at the move. I ruined it for him. He lost all his leverage. He lost every bit of leverage there. How many times do you see that move countered like that? Okay, you see a guy roll him onto the back. But I used my weight and draped over him, and I took his whole leverage from the move there.
And put you closer to the rope.
Yep, you don't want me there. You don't want me there. Yep. Mistake. There it is.
Stuck in the ring. Carter.
There's the Enzo. And the cutthroat cutter. Now look at how his body folded there.
1, 2. Not enough.
Now, I don't know if that was so much him or maybe the momentum of the cover, where I had high momentum and maybe that kind of promoted a kick out there. I'm not sure because I really think that had him. That was a cut. His body turned inside out. I felt his life force.
You still feeling it?
Oh, there it is.
Still feeling it.
Oh yeah, you see that. You can see how he got up. And here's the sleeper. You save that baby for the end. That is a finish, ladies and gentlemen. When you do a real sleeper, you can put somebody out at any point, at any time. So I still have the crossface under the jaw. At that point, it's better for me to kind of sink into it because I'm not going to overpower that. And there he is.
Hey.
Now play that. I want to rewind that. I do want to use my rewind there.
Feel free.
Oh yeah, let's go back to that. So yeah, right here. So see how he hit. Now let's pause that. Right.
I got you.
What was decent of him? He knew that if he tried to keep hooking my arm, I was going to get that forward roll because I gave him that forward roll earlier. Okay,
yeah.
because I forward rolled out into the and went for the figure four. He made sure to hook the crossface. And I want you to understand what happened here. When he put that crossface on me and I start to sink down, I'm thinking, play that, go back to that, to him bringing me down, and then you can just play it through. I'm thinking on my way down how I'm going to get out of this move because I know he's going to get it on me. I'm already a step ahead. That's how I beat
next
you.
move. Right there. Okay.
Look at this.
Yep.
Look at that. I knew I was going to be in that move.
She's like, okay.
And look at the
nice throw.
Right? Right there. One motion.
Yeah. Out of nowhere.
To you. To me, that was where it had to be. That was where it had to be. Look at where the ref was positioned. He couldn't have seen me.
Right.
Can't blame him for that. That's skill. You can't say here, oh, he cheated. Oh, he took the coward's way out. No, that was intelligence.
Hey, a player, this is
that right there was swift, effective intelligence. When he put me in that crossface, before I was on my stomach, he locked it in, and I was crumbling down. I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna be in this move. I'm in it. I'm in this crossface, right? I'm not getting the forward roll. If I roll him off too early, I might be expending too much energy. It's better. Sometimes it's better. It's like when you're in an Iron Man match and you get put in a submission, right? At the I always reference Randy Orton and John Cena. Their Iron Man match from Breaking Point, Breaking Point, because they had that, and then they had bragging rights as well. Maybe it was bragging rights. I want to say Breaking Point, but and I was watching a string of their matches, so I was, because I was watching their feud back, because I think it was one of those feuds where at the time you didn't really get to appreciate it because they were just clearly the two biggest stars in the company. You knew that it was going to happen. But when you look back on it, there was brilliant stuff. It's one of those feuds that if you lived it, you might not have appreciated as much as you will as if you watch it back and you watch the psychology. So anyway, one thing that happened in that match was Cena put Orton in the STFU, and Orton tapped immediately, not because he was in pain. He tapped because he didn't want to get in pain. He didn't want to be in that move and drag himself to the ropes, expend all that energy just to save himself from a fall. He knew it was early. He said, let me get the quick tap. Ref has to break it up, and now we're neutral again. Sure, you have a point up on me, but I just saved an entire reserve of energy trying to get to the ropes. So my mindset, So my mindset there when he put me in the crossface, when Vinny put me in the crossface, or he had already latched it on,
right?
That was very smart of him, but it also, it messed him up. The tunnel vision will mess you up, because he went to that crossface, he was spanking on that crossface, and I was banking on it too. We both were banking on the same thing, but I have more money, baby. Yes, and that's what happened there. He put me in that crossface. He sunk it in. And in that moment, I knew I won the match. Other people and it's funny because you're thinking, he has me in a crossface. People are thinking I'm about to tap out. People are thinking, oh, he's second crossface. Oh, yeah, second crossface, he locked it in. He's about to win. Little do they know. The moment he latched that thing on and I started sinking to my chest, I was like, I just won this match. I see where the referee is. I'm not going to get the royal sweep today. I'm not going to get to win with the sleeper today, but I am going to get the win today. And that's what happened.
By any means necessary.
Oh, nothing wrong with it. That's the referee's fault. Whenever you talk about cheating and this and that, the referee was out of position. Or maybe he wasn't out of position at all, and I just was – I just had to be in position.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at it whichever way you want to look at it. You can look at it either or. You can say it was the ref's fault. You can say that I took advantage of a situation. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's everything. What I know is that match right there, when I beat Vinny and when I rolled out of that ring and I celebrated, I knew in that moment that I was going to win the King of New York tournament. And that is exactly what I did. Not in a place of arrogance, but out of fact. He won last year, and I just beat him to qualify.
Right.
He's not, which means he's not in the tournament. He could have been the biggest threat at the end of the tournament. He could have met me at the end of the 2021 tournament, and I could have had that match there. And it might have been different because he had gone through matches. I went through matches. We might not have had that same exact match if it were to happen at the finals of a tournament. So the fact that I was able to beat him the way that I did, I knew that I was clean sweeping that tournament. And that's with all due respect to those people that I beat, with all due respect to Terrence Hughes. You know, we're talking TNT here, one of the sons of Devon Dudley, the Dudley boys, legends. All right? We're talking Terrence Hughes. We're talking Jade, who's an upstart at Warriors of Wrestling. She's finding her way. Now she's feuding with Nikki Adams, who's been the staple when it comes to women. If you have watched wrestling over the past several years, if you're an old school independent wrestling fan, you know about Nikki Adams. Nikki Adams has been around for a very long time. So Jade's doing that. Dexter, who's up and coming, helping to really train students. And at this point, he's getting to that point because he's been trained so diligently, and that's great to see. So there's him. Biggie Biggs. Chop Daddy. Beat him, and then I beat E-Rock. I knew I was smooth sailing, and that's the type of thinking that gets you the win. You don't always have to win with your finishing move. You're not always going to get your move that you want, but if you're smart and if you analyze and you keep yourself aware, you can win. And that's the type of person I am. I can beat anybody on any given day with anything, and that is why I am the most dangerous man on earth. That is why they're scared to have me on top. They're scared. They're scared. And they're shook. They're Darius Carter. Oh. Oof. It's not that and they know I'm good. It's not a question of skill. It's uh-oh. Yeah, uh-oh. Because I'm here to do things, baby. I'm here to make moves. I'm here to improve the game. I'm not settling. I'm not taking a championship and just hanging out. We're making moves. We're going to elevate the brand. We're going to elevate the championship. We're going to elevate the competition. Everything goes up. All numbers rise when the All-Father is champion. That's the game.
So with that being said, what is next for you? What's the next step for you?
The next step for me is the next step. There's a lot of things. There are a lot of things over the horizon. A lot, some good debuts. A lot of new places, territories that I've been wanting to wrestle in. As I want to say the word territory, I really do. So, and it's nice to see places like you're seeing down south in certain places, Texas and Georgia. I have my eyes on different places, on the map. And that was my plan last year before the pandemic hit, because my goal at that point was to travel, because I'd already done 2 tours of the UK. I wanted to do another one. I did a 1 week in 2017 and then a 2 week in 2018. So I wanted to do more. I got to wrestle out there with Johnny Kidd and learn under the World of Sport legend of Johnny Kidd, and to meet Mal Sanders and to meet, these are things. See, we say, when are you going to see me? These are things I should already be there, but these are the things that are being put into motion. I've been able to make a lot of debuts in the pandemic. I've been able to really thrive in the pandemic, and now I'm seeing the fruits of the labor because there was no time off for Darius Carter. So now there are a lot of guys that are just coming back. There's a lot of people that are just coming back. I've been grinding the entire time, safely, of course, but grinding the entire time honing my craft, improving my craft. And I'm one of those people that improves very quickly. I'm one of those people that levels up very fast, just the way that I am. So how many levels are there? There's a limitless amount, but I'm on the move. And, it's going to scare a lot of people to see where I'm at now versus where I was. And even then I was in a good place before the pandemic. I was doing very well, but now it's just fireworks because I'm just doing it all. Paris is bumping. I'll go over to a ball, to an LGBTQ ball, and I will dominate that ball as Darius Carter. I don't have to compromise myself. I don't have to pander. I'm Darius Carter where I go. But I fit into all of those universes. Camp Leapfrog, leading the Goons. Pro Wrestling Magic as Dark Arts champion for 240 days. Getting my own IWTV special, the Carter Clause, matches, 6 matches, all featuring me with an exclusive interview. These are things that I'm doing for myself. PWI, BW 500, ranking among the legitimate best in the world, no matter what list you're looking at. So you tell me what Darius Carter is doing. You tell me what's next for Mr. Darius Carter. Listen, I said it before, and I continue to say it. I will stand under as many spotlights as I can until the right one is there. I'm all about watering my grass and keeping them green, and that's what I'm doing. Really, is building up the brands that I'm at. Warriors of Wrestling, elevate Warriors of Wrestling. They've been around 14 years. But things are happening there that haven't happened before. I was carrying the World Heavyweight Championship for a year through the pandemic. If I wasn't the champion at that time, Warriors may not have had work to put out on the YouTube channel. And that's no disrespect to anybody that was there because people all played our parts, but I was the one that hooked you in to watch the product. Oh, Darius Carter is having a match. Well, now let's watch everything. That was a role that I took great honor and pride in. Great pride. It's not just, it's not about bragging and saying I did something. It's about realizing what you contributed to a brand. And if you can do that for them, you can do that for somewhere else and somewhere else and somewhere else. And then you're building a resume or adding to your resume. People can't take that from you. Nope. They see me at the top of almost every company I'm wrestling at. It's not the same promoter at every one, so you can't say politics.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's matches. It's matches. It's work. I'm wrestling all types of people. I'm wrestling men. I'm wrestling women. I'm wrestling non-binary. Everybody is getting squeezed under the boot of the All-Father. That's why I'm so scary to people, because I'm taking it all on.
Quality.
I'm doing it all. Hungry, insatiable appetite. That's the point I want to drive home here. I really want to drive this home, okay? The most dangerous man on earth.
Yep.
I'm not just talking about, the in-ring style, strikes. It's way more than that. You got to expand your mind to what I'm saying to you. Dangerous. Mentally. Physically. Emotionally, because I'm controlling that too. Dangerous. Every which way you could look at it, I'm changing the game.
Threat.
I'm a danger to the status quo. I'm the biggest threat to the status quo. That's why they're afraid of me. There's the line right there. There's the line right there. It's not written. It's not contrived. I am the greatest threat to the status quo. That's how it is.
I love it.
The most dangerous, the all-father, the technical tormentor, tying you up. Come on.
Well, you got it. He's ready to take on the world. Hope you enjoyed this match and this breakdown from this brilliant. I kept telling you guys the brilliant mind of Darius Carter. Like the way you see how he broke down his own match and schooled you to understand the psychology and the thought process of what he's doing in the ring. Like he puts it all into his work. Quality. The most dangerous man on earth. Right there.
I appreciate that. And like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and lambaste the kid. Vinny had some heart. He had some spirit. It's great to see. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun to compete against that because that's not me. I'm not there for fun. I'm not there for high energy, high octane offense. So it's nice to compete against that. It's nice to fight against that because now my job is to control it. And as you watch most of that match, I controlled his flurry. He gave it to me at the front with the drop kick. I'll give it to him. He hit the shotgun drop kick, and that was the hardest blow he gave me all match. Everything else was him trying to catch up to that place. But he gave me that drop kick, and I said, all right, well, this is a situation here that I need to be prepared for. And then he started losing some of that flame. He wasn't able to keep it because he hit me with a lot out of the gate. It's not an insult to him. I'm a beast. I'm an animal. I'm a monster. And if you're gonna attack me from the front, then you gotta attack me from the front. And I turned that around. I maintained an advantage. He got some good things in there. He got the Frankensteiner, and I fell on my face because he came with a lot of momentum. Right. That was a worrisome moment, but because all it takes is 3 and you're out. So I'm glad I was able to get out of that. But he was outmaneuvered. He was outclassed. And honestly, you can't blame him because there was no other way he could have started that match. Because if he tried to grapple with me, Vinny didn't want that. Vinny wants to run off the ropes. Vinny wants to roll. He wants to up and over. He doesn't want the grappling clinic. So he started off the best way he could, and he still lost. So it's not his fault. It's not on him. It's just a testament to the skill and to the acumen of one Mr. Darius Carter. People, you have to realize, I am here to play. I am a game player. Yes. But I'm also not a betting man. I play the game, but I don't bet. So what does that mean? That means I know. That means I know. I know the move I'm making. I know the button I'm pressing. And I'll get there the way I need to get there. But I am the controller. Don't forget that. I'm the controller plugged into the system. Yes. Yes. Breathe it. Live it. Oh, Vinny, I hope you're watching. Good effort. You tried, and you did. And you would have beaten most people that night, but it wasn't going to happen. So,
not your father.
I'm not laughing at you, Vinny. I'm laughing with you. I am. I'm laughing with you.
Darius Carter, everybody.
That's what you say to make people feel better. I'm laughing with you.
I hope he's feeling okay. I hope you guys have a rematch and he takes some of your advice.
Rematch for what? No, he can get beat again. I'd like to see how many ways I could beat Vinny. I mean, I didn't get the royal sweep there. I didn't get the sleeper. So, and I have beaten him with the sleeper before, but that was in a Survivor Series style match leading up to the anniversary match that we were supposed to have. But yeah, there was a lot of build there because again, he was 2020 King of New York. I was the world heavyweight champion at the time, so he was supposed to face me. When you win the King of New York, it essentially makes you number one contender, and he again wasn't able to make it in that. So really, that match was a match that he was really owed, and even though it wasn't for the championship. Because I had that stolen from me, but I'll be getting that back soon. Even though it wasn't for the championship, I feel like we were able to deliver a championship quality match. I feel like we were able to get in and I don't want to again say get in and get out because that makes 10 minutes sound short, and 10 minutes isn't short. But we were able to get everything across. I feel that needed to. It was smart. It was athletic. It was competitive. And the better man legitimately won. I mean, I told you how I beat him. You saw how I beat him. And I beat him before I rolled him up, out of the crossface. I beat him before that. I had him beat in that match before that. He was playing catch up, and playing catch up with me is because when I'm in there, I'm in there. Anybody, I'm in there. Ask anybody. When I'm in there, I'm in there. I'm just a different type of. It's like man machine, and mind all in one. It's just the best of those three worlds. I'm not trying to sit here and it's not about tooting your horn. It's about realizing how much I commit to this craft. You see it in my work. I'm committed to this. Yeah. This doesn't come easy. This isn't me falling asleep in my matches and just getting easy wins. I'm putting the work in. That was a strategic win right there. That's what my life is. My life is about strategic victory. It's never going to come easy for me, but it will come.
Darius Carter, everybody. Thank you for breaking down this match for us. Thank you for joining us on Put You On. Is there anything else you would like the people to know? Upcoming matches, your social media. You have a special right now with IWTV. Anything you want to plug in?
Yeah, again, the special with IWTV, the Carter Clause, which is Pro Wrestling Magic. That's about my Dark Arts Championship reign. So I have matches against TJ Crawford, the first time we ever wrestled, Everett Cross, Billy Dixon, Erica Lee, Preacher.
Somebody was asking about a match about Billy Dixon earlier. They was asking you, would you have a match with Billy Dixon? Well, you got it right there.
There it is, the Carter Clause. And a lot of these matches, by the way, were under basically using European rules. So 5 3-minute rounds with 15-second intervals. So I wanted to bring that to the independents because the only times you're really getting to see that are either, WWE, NXT UK, you'll see it there, okay. Or you'll see it in Ring of Honor, but they're not really an independent anymore if you want to be technical. So I wanted to bring it to a legitimate independent in Pro Wrestling Magic and be a different type of champion, a grappling champion and a champion using those European rules and bringing them to the American style. So that was really fun. So again, matches against Eric Corvus, against Preacher, against Erica Lee, and against Billy Dixon. Those were all under the DCDA rules, the Darius Carter Dark Arts rules, which were basically a spin on the World of Sport style. So that was that. This Friday, you can see me the 5th of November. Remember. Catalyst Wrestling. I will be bringing back the Brass Ring Invitational. So that's going to be me against an unnamed opponent, a singles match. Could be of any gender, so we don't know who's going to be there. But that's an open challenge there on my way back to a Catalyst title match. And then the next Saturday, which is the 13th, I'll be wrestling Masha Slamovich at Pro Wrestling Magic, Jay George's red carpet preview. And then after that, I'll be wrestling Vita Von Star at Warriors of Wrestling of Ring of Honor notoriety. So I'm going from Pro Wrestling Magic to Warriors of Wrestling. Masha Slamovich first on Saturday, and then Vita Von Star. And then the following Saturday, the 20th, I have Elo Neal for the first time ever, a member of the Better Business Bureau, the Best Business Bureau, before I get C&D'd on this podcast. So myself against Elo Neal, which is going to be a massive test for that young man. And then the 27th, there's going to be Camp Leapfrog will be having their event there, which I look forward to. And then everywhere I go, I mean, what do you people really just look at the situation? Everywhere I go, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say?
Love
you know? So that's just filling out this month. So just listen, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, /Mr. Darius Carter. Look me up. I'm posting all the time. All right. I mean, I don't even have merch, but I promote like nobody's business because I know how the game is. So you'll see all those dates there. A very busy November, very busy December. January is going to be great too. February, I mean, debuts around the corner for the new year. It's just it's nice. It's nice to, I've worked very hard and my hustle is very silent, I don't sit out here and talk about all the things I do, but there's some people, most of these people in the business, the only time they've ever seen me is coming straight from my shoot job, coming from work. I'm not coming from home. I'm coming from the office. I'm coming from, a meeting. I'm coming from, I'm doing this. My hustle is just, the hours I put in, and I listen, everybody, I get it. People have their own hustle. I'm not trying to compare mine to someone else's, but my hustle is very continual. 10, 11-hour days, at just one place. And it's a hustle, but you got to create it for yourself. You have to want it for yourself.
Right.
And I've wanted a better life. My mother was working for a Fortune 500 company when she was, before she was 21. So,
Wow.
these are the types of things that were instilled in me, and it's just part of my life. So I don't have to sit here and tell you all the things that I'm doing, but I'm doing it. And it's great to be here. It's great to be in the eye of people to where I'm unavoidable now, because I always said I would get here, and I had to get myself there. And I did it. I got myself here. Sure, there's some people that, there's help along the way. There are people that contributed along the way. I'm not saying that I'm not going to say I did it all by myself in that respect, because obviously you have schools that you go to. But what I'm saying is I didn't have someone from a sitting in a plush room that was able to vouch for me or that was going to do that for me. I didn't have a coattail or a best friend to do that. I didn't have someone to throw me in front of the right person. I'm getting there myself, and I like it so much better that way. Everything is earned, and that's why the accolades mean more to me. Nothing is handed to me, and that makes it more valuable. So that's the game, baby. That's it. And Darius is playing, so come on in. Come on in. The water's
Come
fine.
on down. Real quick question. Where's your show at on November 20th? Your match?
November 20th it's in Ridgefield Park. It's the Phil Sheridan building, where a lot of those places
I will be there.
Huh?
I'll be coming to that show, actually.
Oh, there you go. See that? And that's
So
the game.
there.
That's the game. So you will see myself against Eel O'Neal for the very first time. I'm not going to sit here. It's not one of those, BBB implodes. It's nothing like that. This is an exhibition. It's also my debut, though. So I know Eel has been teaming there with Jordan and the Kings of the District, which is beautiful, and I love it. Again, BBB members, both of them. But he might have his own mission there, and that's fine. But when I come into a promotion, I'm not coming for a one-off. And I'm not coming just to have a good match. That's not enough. So I do have some goals and some aspirations with Invictus Pro Wrestling. That's where it is. I was going to say, did I say the name of the promotion? Invictus. So Invictus Pro, I will be making my debut for Overdrive. Eel O'Neal, you will be there. Hopefully others, of course others will be there, but hopefully many, many, many others will navigate their way to the Phil Sheridan building to watch me do the things that I need to do to Eel to drive the point home.
There you go. Thank you again for having joining us on Put You On. This is Mr. Darius Carter. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter wherever you can. Follow his matches. The calendar is out. I think you missed the All-Father.
Thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. And remember, this is the go-away line now, all right? The time for change is now.